All right, before we start this video, first of all, I would like to say that I speak and explain things very slowly. And that might be a problematic for you if you're looking for a video that is very fast paced. But in my point of view, it doesn't really work because, when I have to explain the tools and the techniques, you can, catch the explanation and understand the explanation very well when somebody speaks very slowly. That's just my point of view. However, we can go down in the tool of your video and then speed it up to make the video even faster if you like. Second, it's always useful to come back to the video whenever necessary because you might forget what I just explained. And in order to revisit the video, make sure that you save the video for future reference. And third, go down in the description below and then click on the link in order to download the software. Unless you already have the software, that's fine. But if you don't have it, go down in the description below and then click the link in order to download the software to try it out by yourself. Best way to learn anything. And then if you like, I'm more than happy to provide you the raw photo that I'm using for this video so that you can practice it on your own. And that way, you will never forget any tools and you can actually learn a lot faster. Now, let's jump into the video. Enjoy photography. This Silkypix Developer Studio Pro 12, the new version, we're going to take a look at one of the tool which I'm very fond of, which is called the new introduced soft tool. In order to do that, I'm in the select tab now, and the soft look actually works especially with the portrait, but I kid you not, it also works beautifully with the landscape images or architecture image. But we're going to start with the portrait first. So we have this image. I'm going to take a look at this image. Now, in new version, you have this new tab on the top. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Adjust this image. So you select, you click, and it will take you to the Adjust tab immediately. Now, let's get into the full screen and zoom out a little bit. Of course, I'm clicking Initialize just in case if I have done any kind of edit or not to avoid that. And then I want you to pay attention to the histogram because it's very important that it does some sort of change in the exposure. Now, in the quick section, you have the tools that is immediately necessary. So we're going to go to Advanced tab, then click on the tone. In tone, you go down, scroll down, and you have this soft tool. Can you see it? There you go. Now, again, remind you, pay attention to the histogram. I'm slowly moving to the right, and as I'm moving to the right, don't pay attention to the photo. Pay attention to the histogram. It moves also to the right. So I'm going back and I'm slowly moving to the right, and histogram is pushing to the highlight as well. So you can see that technically it's raising the exposure, but in a very different way. It's not essentially like the white level. So I'm going to move the white level. It does not do the same thing essentially. It's very extreme. It's not working on your darker area. It's just only working on your bright area. But soft is essentially kind of like a glow look. So I'm going all the way to 100 just to give you an example. You see that it's kind of like a exposure slider, but not necessarily the same thing.
Or other way is actually soft, let's say, softer version of gamma. What do I mean by that? So I'm going to do the same thing with the gamma. Gamma more or less does the same thing, but it prioritizes too much on the bright area. It doesn't prioritize on the shadow area, because if you go all the way to as far as you want, it's still quite extreme and effects are immediate. But if you do the soft, it's kind of like a diffusion. So we can either use it to provide a nice soft look, or if you want to give manipulate your brightness very subtly. I'll give you another example. Let's give you another example, not this image, but let's say, let's take a look at this image in Rome. So this is a typical night photo, a very typical night photo. Now, to make it as fluid as possible, I'm going to go down to the noise reduction and then turn off the noise reduction, because I think this is going to eat my computer resources a little bit too much. So this is not my priority now. Same for the sharpness. I couldn't care. I know it does look horrible. I agree with you, but our objective is to show you how does it work. So let's take a look at the ISO. You see that ISO here, it's 1250. Pretty noisy, honestly. But this is not our goal to pay attention to the noise. If we go to the tone and soft, you see that it gives a nice glowy look. So it gives like a subtle look. It makes the image looks beautiful. Now, what about I do the same thing by noise reduction on? So here is the noise reduction. We're going to wait a little bit to show the result, the preview. It takes some time, so don't worry about it. Now, we are using the soft slowly. Pay attention to the histogram. So it gives a nice soft look overall, and I quite like it. And you can see that my preview is not very high quality. It's because just for this video, I went to the setting and I went to, if I remember correctly, display setting and preview window. I turn on the preview rendering mode, first rendering, like a coarse preview. What happens is that if you do that, it shows quickly. It doesn't wait too long. But if I did the detail rendering, it will show you a better quality. Now you can see at the bottom right corner, it's doing kind of like a rendering and it's showing you the high quality possible. But it comes at the cost, of course, because it takes time. Anyway, our objective is to show you exactly the quality of it. So this soft look is actually a very useful tool, to summarize it, to show you that it works perfectly with the portrait, but even with the landscape, especially in the night photos, it helps you to give a nice, beautiful, soft look. So F-handy tool, I quite like it. I hope you like it too. And let me know if you have any different opinions. Until then, take care of yourself. Ciao.